It's 7:30 a.m., and you are waiting in a busy Starbucks drive-through line. Right ahead of you sit two cars side by side. On the left is a brand new, polished luxury SUV with a shiny finish and a heavy $1,200 monthly payment. On the right is a dented, 10-year-old sedan with faded paint that was paid off years ago. Take a look at both drivers. Have you already formed a quick opinion about who is winning financially? Here is the truth: the driver in that beat-up sedan is actually much more likely to have a net worth over $1 million. Meanwhile, the driver in the luxury SUV is probably just two missed paychecks away from losing it all. This is the invisibility strategy. True wealth building is quiet, boring, and totally un-Instagrammable. It does not get unboxing videos, clicks, or views, which is exactly why it stays hidden from the people who need it most. In this video, we are going to look at the hard data behind modern consumer traps. We will uncover how our brains trick us into upgrading our lives, and I will share a clear 6-part plan to change it. You will want to stay until we break down section 6, because when you see how a single, tiny choice at age 28 creates a 7-figure gap by age 40, it will completely change how you view your next promotion. This isn't about eating rice and beans or feeling guilty for enjoying nice things. It is simply about making a hidden trade-off easy to see, so you can choose real freedom over the mere illusion of it. If you want to master the quiet path to wealth, hit subscribe and join us here at Begin Success. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the bigger picture. Recent data from the Federal Reserve shows that regular consumer debt, not counting home mortgages, has climbed to an all-time high. People are borrowing more money than ever before just to keep up appearances. It is easy to assume this is just a problem for people who do not earn enough money, but the math tells a different story. Studies show that nearly half of all Americans making between $100,000 and $150,000 a year say they still live paycheck to paycheck. They earn what should be a great living, yet their bank accounts sit near zero at the end of every month. So, where is all that money actually going? It disappears into a few specific areas. For one, car loans have quietly stretched out to 6 or 7 years. People are signing up for 84 months of payments just to drive something that looks expensive today. At the same time, housing costs are eating up a massive chunk of the average paycheck. The gap between what people earn and what they spend on a home has grown too wide, swallowing up the extra money that should be going toward their future. But there is one final number that shows the true depth of this trap. By the time they turn 40, more than 1/3 of these high-earning professionals have less than a single year's worth of basic living expenses saved up where they can actually reach it. They have the big job and the nice house, but if life throws them a curveball, they are surprisingly fragile. If you have ever felt the urge to buy something nice just to show your success, I want you to take a deep breath. This behavior is not a character flaw. It does not mean you lack discipline or that you are a weak person. It is simply your brain operating exactly how it was designed to work. Long ago, our survival depended on being part of a small tribe. To stay safe, our ancestors had to show the group that they had resources, strength, and value. If the tribe saw you as successful, you were protected, and your chances of surviving went way up. Signaling status was not about vanity, it was a basic tool for staying alive. The problem is that our world changed, but our brains did not. In the past, your tribe was just a local group of about 50 people. Today, internet algorithms and social media have turned that small group into a global feed of millions of people. Every time you open your phone, you see the absolute best moments of strangers all over the world. This triggers a constant, quiet loop in your mind, forcing you to compare your real life to an impossible standard. A well-known psychologist named Dr. Tim Kaiser studied this exact issue in his book, The High Price of Materialism. He discovered that focusing too much on buying things and showing status actually damages our emotional health. Instead of making us feel safe, chasing these material things fuels deep financial anxiety and leaves us feeling less satisfied with our lives. Your brain is just trying to protect you, but the modern world has turned that protective instinct into a trap. To really see how this trap locks us in, we need to understand a simple idea from behavioral economics called hedonic adaptation. This concept, first named by researchers Brickman and Campbell, explains how our feelings quickly adjust to new things. It is the reason why buying something new never satisfies us for very long. Think about the timeline of a typical status purchase, like buying a new car. In the beginning, there is a major high. When you walk onto the showroom floor and drive away, your brain gets a massive spike of excitement. But that feeling does not last. Within about 30 days, a quick shift happens. The new car smell fades away, and the vehicle stops feeling special. It simply becomes the place where you sit in morning traffic. Very quickly, your emotions return right back to where they started. The real danger is the massive gap between our feelings and our money. That psychological high lasts for only about 30 days. Yet, to get that short burst of excitement, most people sign a financial contract that lasts for 60 to 84 months. Long after the joy is completely gone, the heavy monthly payment remains, quietly draining your wealth month after month. Let us look at the actual math behind this choice, using a very common example. Imagine a standard luxury car with an $800 monthly payment. To most people, that looks like the price of driving a nice vehicle. But the true cost is hidden under the surface. When you buy an expensive car, you also trigger an entire system of extra costs. Your insurance premiums shoot up, the engine requires pricey premium fuel, and basic maintenance at the dealership costs twice as much. Worst of all, the car loses its value incredibly fast. When you add all these hidden pieces together, that $800 payment easily turns into $1,000 leaving your pocket every single month. Now, imagine what happens if you take that same $1,000 a month and put it to work for you instead. If you invest that money into a safe, basic index fund growing at a standard 8% each year, the numbers start to look very different. If you do this for 10 years, your money grows into about $180,000. If you keep going for 20 years, that total climbs to over $570,000. And if you maintain this quiet habit over a 30-year career, that steady investment compounds into more than $1.4 million. This is the real price of trying to look rich. A lifetime of continuous luxury car payments does not just cost you a monthly bill. It quietly robs a high-earning professional of well over $1.5 million in real, cold wealth. That is money that could have bought you decades of true freedom, all traded away just to look successful in traffic. The trap becomes even deeper because the cost never stops with just one purchase. To see how this works, we need to understand a unique economic idea called a Veblen good. Usually, when the price of something goes up, people buy less of it. But with a Veblen good, the item actually becomes more desirable because it gets more expensive. The high price tag is the entire point, because it signals to everyone else that you can afford it. Once you buy that first expensive item, a second psychological trap springs shut. This is known as the Diderot effect. It is a simple human pattern where getting one new luxury possession creates a spiral of more spending. Suddenly, your older, normal belongings feel out of place, and you feel a powerful urge to buy more new things just to match the first one. One purchase silently demands another. We see this happen clearly in our own neighborhoods every single day. When someone purchases a premium home or a high-end luxury vehicle, they are not just buying a house or a car. That single choice quietly forces them into an entirely new lifestyle. Suddenly, they feel they need to move into a higher-priced zip code to match their vehicle. Then, they need to join the local private country club to fit in with the neighbors. Next comes an upgraded wardrobe, followed by joining expensive social circles and eating at pricier restaurants. You spend massive amounts of money you never planned to spend, all because you are trying to look like you naturally fit the part. Let us look at how this plays out in real life by following two corporate professionals, Alex and Sarah. Both are 28 years old, work at the exact same firm, and start out making a great salary of $95,000 a year. On paper, their opportunities are identical. But their choices look very different. As the years pass and the promotions roll in, Alex uses every single raise and bonus to upgrade his lifestyle. He moves into a much nicer apartment, leases expensive European cars, and signs up for premium memberships. To anyone looking from the outside, Alex is wildly successful. Sarah, however, chooses a quiet path. When she gets a raise, she automatically sets up her bank account to invest the extra money before she can even see it. She continues to drive her paid-off crossover car and keeps her daily living costs modest, choosing to enjoy her life privately without needing to show it off. 10 years later, both Alex and Sarah are 38 years old. They still work at the same company and make the exact same high income. Yet, the objective numeric gap between them is staggering. Alex has a very high lifestyle but almost nothing saved up, leaving him stressed and stuck in his job. Sarah has quietly built a net worth of hundreds of thousands of dollars, giving her total peace of mind and real options. To understand why this happens, think of the faucet and the reservoir metaphor. Income is like the faucet. It simply represents the speed of the water flowing out. You can have a massive faucet that pours out a lot of water, but if you do not have a plug at the bottom, all that water runs right down the drain. Net worth, on the other hand, is the reservoir. It is the actual depth of the water that accumulates and stays behind. Alex has a huge faucet, but Sarah is the one building a true reservoir. Building a true reservoir requires a simple, steady system. We can break this down into 5 quiet movements that you can start using today. The first movement is the dark liquidity rule. This is a shift in your mindset where you reframe wealth as the things people cannot see. It is a strict rule to keep your actual net worth completely hidden from your public appearance. You choose to let your bank account grow in secret, rather than wearing your money on your sleeve. The second movement is the 72-hour friction wall. This is a tactical trick for your brain to stop unnecessary spending before it starts. Whenever you feel the urge to buy a status item or a luxury upgrade, you force yourself to wait 3 full days. This simple delay breaks the sudden emotional urge and gives your logical mind time to take over. The third movement is the phantom promotion strategy. This is a highly effective tactical step for your career. The very day you receive a raise or a bonus, you instantly set up your accounts to redirect 80% of that new money into automated investments. Because the cash never hits your regular checking account, you never miss it, and your lifestyle stays safely the same. The fourth movement is the cost per use standard. This changes how you view the price of the things you buy. Instead of just looking at the flat sticker price, you divide that price by how many times you will actually use the item. A high-quality tool you use every day becomes incredibly cheap, while an expensive outfit you wear once becomes a massive waste of money. The fifth movement is the stealth asset architecture. This means setting up your financial accounts in a way that values growing your money over showing it off. You build hidden buckets like retirement accounts and index funds that quietly accumulate value in the background, far away from public view. If you find value in these strategies and want to join a community of people building real, quiet wealth, consider supporting us by clicking the join button below to become a channel member. But here is the hard truth that we must face honestly. You can copy these 5 movements perfectly, but the tactics alone will eventually fail if you do not fix the root of the problem. If you still feel a deep need to get validation from total strangers, you will always find a way to spend what you have. True financial success is not just about moving numbers around, it is about mastering your own mind. Learning to control these inner habits is a lifelong journey, and that is exactly why it helps to stay connected. By subscribing to the channel, we can continue to study these foundational wealth concepts together week after week. Let us look back one last time at that busy morning Starbucks drive-thru line. Picture the driver sitting in that paid-off, dented sedan. The first time we looked at them, our instinct might have seen financial struggle. But now, looking through a clearer lens, we see something completely different. We see a person who was quietly using the power of invisibility to buy back their own time. They are not trapped by a monthly bill, and they do not owe anyone an explanation. True luxury is not an expensive item that forces you to keep working a job you hate just to maintain a fake image. True luxury is looking completely ordinary to the rest of the world, while possessing the quiet, invisible freedom to do whatever you want with your life.